I just did a little experiment.
I'm trying not to get too distracted.
We don't know where he is.
It's very intriguing.
Reveal of the treasures. This month, it's been 2 years since we found this place. We've been working on restoring the house for 20 months and we are so close to moving in. In this episode, we're going to show you some never before seen treasures that we found during our initial clean out. We're also going to show you a project you've been asking us for almost 2 years that we finally got done. But first, let's go check in with Hal and see what he's up to this weekend. Hi.
Hey, I've just been doing the finishing touches on this. Thanks to Karen B, who sent us this pick set.
Nice.
To really get in there and scrape out the last of the finish.
It's looking really good.
Yeah, we're getting there, but there's still a lot of little stuff to scrape out.
You want to show us what else you've been working on?
Yeah, upstairs. We're here in what will be our bedroom, and I just did a little experiment to the wood floor. So I've done this before with woodworking, and we did have a few holes. And what I did was I mixed up some sawdust and wood glue, and then just filled it in, and then I'll sand it smooth.
This week we've also been trying to finish up some details in this room so that once we refinish the floors, this room will be completely done and ready for us to move into it to sleep. Yesterday I was working on siliconing these baseboards and doing a little bit of wood putty in the rough areas, and then today I'm going to finish painting them.
I've been scraping the corners of the room, the edge of the wood floors, because in preparation of sanding the floors, we are leaving the quarter round on our baseboards. If you haven't noticed, the paint was really heavy around that, and if we started to take them off, it would flake off, and it just wasn't really worth the effort. Some of the rooms, we don't have the quarter round. We went ahead and took the quarter round off. And for those rooms, we're not gonna have to do this, but this is just where the sander isn't gonna get all the way to the wall. So we sanded all that down, and now I've scraped all along the baseboards, and then I went back around with 40 grit sandpaper, and then I might do another pass. The old chimney breast. So we went ahead and skimmed it. Just gotta do some fine sanding to it, and we're gonna get that primed and painted today. I also got every room in the house cleaned out, getting ready to sand all the floors. So the drawing room is cleaned out. The parlor is cleaned out, except for our chairs that we take a break in. The dining room and both bedrooms. So we're borrowing the sander from our neighbor who redid his floors, and he said he was going to be in town this weekend, and unfortunately, we don't know where he is.
And everything that was in all of the other rooms in the house is now in the studio. So it's a mess. But take a look back at this flashback of a couple months ago when we were cleaning out the studio and we found a letter.
So I completely forgot to film as we were carrying things out of this room. But we've got this whole area cleaned up, and even over here is pretty much cleaned up. And we've been listing some things for sale. I'll show you what we have over here. These are just a few things that we had left. We have already sold quite a bit to antique dealers and local people we knew who wanted some things. So we have this little group over here, which is really nice. Got a magazine holder, a cute chair, some clamshell lamps. Everything here though does have some imperfections, so I don't know if it shows on the video, but like this chair, the caning is actually in great condition. It definitely needs to be reupholstered, and then it has a crack up on the top of the chair. It can all be fixed. We just have so many projects going on right now that we don't really have time to do that, and we also don't have the space to store these things anymore. So we love refinishing furniture and would love to be able to do something like this, but right now our first priority has to be the house. So we also have these, which I really like. They are super rusty though, and so that's gonna take some refurbishing. And then this table, I really like this little table. It also needs to be refinished. It's a really cute nightstand. So hopefully these things are all gonna find new homes, and if we can make a little bit of money from them, it's all just going right back into the house, which is the biggest thing that we're trying to save. So hopefully these all sell really fast, because that is also gonna free up some space for us, which we're really trying to move in soon. So we really need to get this house cleared out and ready for us to bring our own things into. I also keep finding little pieces of Marie are still left in the house. So I found this little piece of paper with her name written on it. We also have this marble top that came off of a coffee table. And the coffee table was pretty, but it actually just completely collapsed because, like many of the things in this house, it was in just really rough shape. But we saved the top, and we're thinking maybe somebody could repurpose that into something. It's really heavy duty. It's super. How much do you think that weighs?
More than a sheet of plywood full of asphalt shingles.
It's really heavy.
I don't know if we actually showed this armoire that was upstairs. I think there might have been a glimpse of it, but we've been keeping it down here in the studio. And it's really interesting because either it was scrapped together by other pieces, or this is like a country homemade piece. You can see here where there used to be different hinges on these doors. This scrolling, or whatever this inlay, is definitely old and done by hand. You can see how not straight it is.
Yeah, it looks very folk
Yeah. And it's
style.
full of antique books.
Yeah, these are all books that we took out of the built-in, which you saw. And some of them are very cool, so we had been setting them aside until we had time to figure out what to do with them. So I'm still trying to figure that out.
Okay, so this wood flooring pile was our original entryway. And we saved it when they ripped it out, and we were able to reuse some in some of the corners that had some damaged pieces. So we're going back through it to see like what's worth saving and what's not. What's really interesting to me is that these are square nails that they nailed through there. But what I don't understand, and maybe somebody out there knows, oh, is that VT? Is that Vermont? How'd they get the nail in there? Because the... Oh, I
Flip it
see. They
over?
filled it. There's the...
Oh yeah, there it is.
So there's the nail head. And there's the other one right there. Interesting.
So why did we rip the entryway out?
Oh, it was all rotten.
Like underneath?
Yeah, the floor underneath needed, the subfloor needed repair.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to take these out. So like I said, you know, we saved it. We had a flooring guy reuse a lot of these boards, and some of them are still good, especially the ones a little further in. So we're gonna go through and save those.
Yeah, so these will be good to have on hand, just if we need to do any other small repairs.
Yeah, like that landing up there.
Yeah,
that I think needs.
The landing is pretty rough.
That's a good one.
So we're just gonna sort through, find what's worth keeping, and put it in a bin for now. Which will definitely help clear up this space in the studio, because they've just been thrown on the floor here for a while. So while Hal is sorting through the wood, I've been over here going through some of this paperwork that we had held on to, that we found in the house. And we just, when we were cleaning out the house, it was, like we've said before, very overwhelming. We didn't have time to go through every little thing, so we just put it in Rubbermaids to go through later. I have this whole stack to kind of just sort through. It's all house stuff. Maybe some of it is completely irrelevant, but it does kind of give us a history of the maintenance of the house and things like that that we just have no idea of otherwise. So I'm going through all these papers, and I came across this letter, and I noticed on the return address that it's from a neighbor, so we haven't read it yet. We're gonna read it and see what the neighbor had to say. And it's not addressed to Marie by her first name, it just has her last name. So it doesn't seem like this person knew her. My name is, oh, we'll leave their name out, but we're your neighbors at the address. We love the 1920s architecture and this neighborhood. I walk by your home often with my husband and my puppies. Your home is beautiful, and I love all the vegetation. And also, this is from February of 2022. So I'm curious what the vegetation looked like then. That wasn't that long ago. I was wondering if you would ever consider selling your home, as I would like to buy a home for my sister here. We've been residents here for about 20 years, and I finally get to retire here full-time a few years ago. Please call me on my cell at, if you would like to talk or if you have any questions. Thank you for your consideration. So Marie obviously got this letter, and I don't know if she ever talked to them, but we know what this address is, and Hal has actually met the people who live in this house. I haven't met them yet, but didn't you say they actually told Hal that they had sent a letter here? Did they ever hear back from her?
Yeah, I went, they live in a similar Mediterranean house, and I went over there one day. They were outside, and I just stopped and started talking to him, and the guy told me, he's like, yeah, I actually wrote a letter and sent it to her to see if she would sell the house. And that's letter number 2, right?
Yes, somebody.
Because in our rental video, where we found our rental that we're living in while we restore this house, she had, not the owners, but their neighbors,
Oh, right.
had wrote a letter to Marie also trying to buy this house. So there's been 2 people in 2022 sending letters to buy the house, and we ended up coming upon it and buying it.
So it was much sought after. I wonder what else we're gonna find in this pile. I still have quite a few papers to go through, so there may be more letters. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lottery ticket.
Oh yeah. There is. I think we showed this at some point, but it was in an early video and the lighting was really bad. So this is a lottery ticket we found in one of the drawers.
What is it, 1970 something?
It says January 4th, 1973, New York State Lottery. So this is back from, that's when Marie lived in New York before she had moved to Florida. I'm really curious what else I'm going to find, so.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to get too distracted by all this stuff because we have a lot of work we have to do, but it's very intriguing.
It's fun. The hunt again.
Yes, we're back to the hunt.
Yeah, we hadn't really saw her stuff lately, so.
Yeah, we're still piecing parts of the story together.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. So now we're trying to get this glider out of here, and we have to disassemble it in order to get it through the door.
Swing it that way.
Oh, it's so close.
Nope, I'm not gonna go.
Let's just take it off. Making pretty good progress. This room is getting cleared out. It's feeling great in here. It feels so much bigger now. And I just can't wait till it's completely empty.
Okay, so we just needed to change this light bulb out, and I finally got this open. It's a little grody in there.
I love this light fixture though.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's super cool.
And
So,
it worked when we got the house.
do you think it is the original?
Oh, there it goes.
Maybe it's not. Maybe they,
The light?
yeah. I haven't really
Because
looked.
we found some things that look old that aren't. So.
Yeah, and I haven't really looked that one up yet.
And the way there's a hole right there, it looks like it's been replaced.
Yeah. Either way, I really like it though.
Or maybe it was just rewired.
Well, it would definitely have been rewired. I'm just wondering because this used to be an outside porch area. To me, it kind of looks like an outdoor light fixture.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We don't know when this room was enclosed either. So. What? It doesn't work?
Doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. Oh, oh my
Why
gosh.
not?
It's like glowing now.
Weird.
That's very weird. What's the wattage of that bulb?
60. It's an LED, so it's like 5 watts, but it's supposed to mimic a 60 watt.
That light looks so weird. It's so dim.
Yeah, I don't understand.
That doesn't look right.
Maybe it wasn't rewired.
Yeah, but we used to use this light when we first bought the house.
It used to be a lot brighter.
Yeah, it was very bright. Maybe we should put this bulb in and see how it looks.
It's not the bulb.
The wiring in this house has taken on a life of its own.
So we did this little sample of polyurethane. This is going to be, and it looks kind of in the middle of the room, but this is where our bed is going to be. It's going to cover this, and so we're not worried about it. We didn't have to go to the closet or whatever. Another aspect of that is the light. If we went into a closet, then we wouldn't really get the light in most of the room. But another thing that I recommend, besides doing a sample to see how it turns out, is that it's been very motivational when we've been working up here the last couple of days to be able to look back on this little square and know that the whole house is going to look like that. So that's been fun. Update on the drawing room color. So we're getting ready to paint these walls, and we were pulling nails. Originally we thought that this room was a light blue. That came that way in the 1920s. But interestingly, we pulled this out of the wall, and it's just a little hook for hanging a picture, and it's covered in blue paint. So that is leading me to believe that this was painted blue post 1923. And so due to the deep dive in the history of this house that we've done, consulted local historian, gone to the historical society, gone to the library, checked tax records, consulted mediums, time traveled, and did remote viewing. We believe that no one lived in this house up until the 1950s. And there is a rumor to that in this neighborhood that a lot of these sat empty through the 30s. And so we think that the family that bought this house in the 1950s might have been the ones to paint this room blue as we ventured to paint the room our own color.
So should we test out that paint that we got?
Yeah, so let's test out that color.
You might remember from a couple weeks ago, we selected this Benjamin Moore paint called White Ice for the drawing room. So we're gonna do a little test sample to see how we like it.
So I guess we'll do a couple of different spots.
Yeah, good idea. So it's very subtle, but it's a really pretty, very, very, very light blue. Can you see it on camera at all? It looks really good in person.
Just barely.
Let's go test it in the upstairs hallway, because this color is going to go all the way up the stairs into that hallway. Oh yeah, you can really tell up here. It's pretty. Can you tell?
Yeah, definitely.
That's really nice. We're still having beautiful weather here in Florida, so quick update on our rose bush. We wanted to thank Karen B for these awesome pruners because it's been super helpful with trimming up our rose bush. We know that we can sharpen blades and do all that, but those old ones that we had, the spring was broken, everything was not working. So it's been great to have a new tool to actually get the job done. So thank you, Karen. I've been using these all week and really enjoying them.
It's been about 5 hours, so I think the glue is dried, at least on the surface. I'm gonna do some sanding, see if we can smooth it out and see if it worked. All right, well, I'm happy with the way the wood glue and the sawdust filled the hole. So what I'm gonna do is once we've actually sanded all these floors and I have a 10-pound bag of sawdust from these oak floors, I can go around and use some wood glue and that sawdust to make these patches. I was just kind of wanted to check it out and see how it would work. I think it works great.
Okay, and now the moment you have probably been waiting for, the reveal of the treasures. So we're going to show you a few things that we found in our initial clean out of this house that we haven't shown on camera before. For those of you who've been watching, you'll remember Marie, who owned the house before us. And this is a little sewing kit that was hers for travel. It still has everything intact. It's been cleaned up.
This is a little glass vase made out of uranium glass that was popular in the late 1800s into the early 1900s and actually is a little bit radioactive.
This is a Napoleon ashtray by Limoges from France, probably 1960s. You'll remember Marie was born in Paris, so a lot of things we found in the house are French.
This is a table lighter, probably from the 30s, maybe 40s.
We also found these vintage hair clips that belong to Marie. This one is really pretty. It's just missing one rhinestone.
So here we have a pair of wooden heads that are obviously not a set. I think we've shown this one before. It looks like it's from a piece of furniture, like it probably sat in something and got locked in through this dowel hole here. And then we have this. We did find some evidence that Marie traveled to the islands. I think she actually traveled to Haiti at one point. So it's a good chance that's where this came from. Don't know if it went into a bottle or if it was just a little souvenir.
The reason we wanted to bring those treasures back to show you is that we finally finished a project that you've been asking about for a couple of years, and that is...
Our Etsy store is up.
So if you saw anything that you're interested in, or if you just want to peruse some of the treasures from Casa 1923, you can find the link to our Etsy shop in the description of this video and also our bio.
We do have more. We've listed only a few things. We have tubs filled with other stuff, so we'll be dropping more stuff every week.